this discussion. And Borzou Daragahi joins us now live from Paris. Welcome to the program. How do you, Borzou, read what's going on in Iran right now in this critical moment?
Well, I think that the government is in a little bit of a state of panic. They're trying to hint at possible concessions, while at the same time kind of allude to possible violent threats, including executions of protesters that have been threatened by various officials. They're not sure how to deal with this. They're looking at the protests and they're hearing calls by people for their heads and the end of the regime. They look at foreign media. They see credible analysts talking about a revolutionary movement in Iran, sociological changes that are aimed at bringing about the demise of the regime. Whether they completely believe these analyses or not, they're reading them. They're panicking. They're trying to find solutions. They're speaking to reformists. There are reports of considerations of relaxing certain rules and so on. But yeah, it's a regime under intense pressure domestically and internationally, looking for a way out.
Indeed. And there seems to be so many conflicting messages coming out right now. All weekend or yesterday, we had that message about the possible end of the morality police. And just right now, in the last 5 minutes, Iran's Revolutionary Guard saying security forces will not show mercy towards rioters, thugs and terrorists. So, you know, what do you make of all this? It really is confusing.
I think it's not that confusing. I think that you have a regime that is cycling through various options and possibilities, trying to see what will calm people down, what will keep people from coming out into the streets. I think this is maybe the 4th or 5th time in the last 80 days that someone from the Revolutionary Guard has threatened the protesters. At one point, very early on in the protests, the head of the Revolutionary Guard declared the protests over, only to be countered by more protests in the streets. So, you know, it's not that confusing. They're trying to offer sticks. They're trying to offer carrots. They're trying to calm the people down, at the same time, cow them into submission. And meanwhile, the people are resolute, those who are protesting at least, and those who support them. They want fundamental radical changes that could possibly include the downfall of the Islamic Republic.
And just to go back to that point about Iran's Attorney General signaling the end of the morality police, what exactly would that change in practice? Which body would have to be stopped for there not to be another Mahsa Amini dying in police custody?
The law for mandatory hijab is on the books. And until that law is removed, there is a possibility of bringing back the morality police, whether it is the current incarnation in the guise of what's called the guidance patrol, or previous incarnations when you had self-declared vigilantes that would set up shop on streets and harass women. So it was even worse before the current incarnation of uniformed people doing this and enforcing the hijab. But yes, over the last few months, they have effectively not been enforcing this, whether that is a tactical decision to help people calm down, or just because they're redeploying the security forces towards repressing the protesters. It remains unclear. But, you know, until that law is removed from the books, the threat of mandatory hijab being imposed by force remains.
Thank you so much for speaking to us today, Borzou Daragahi. Thank you for your time, live from Paris.